Welcome to Effective Living TV with your host, Ricardo Miller. Here you will find engaging conversations to help you create a life you don't need to take a vacation from.
Welcome back to Effective Living Monday Night Conversation. I am excited about tonight's talk. We're going to do something that's going to challenge each and every one of you to decide to take the lid off. That's what it's all about, taking the lid off. And so tonight, we're addressing the subject matter of failure. Oh, yeah. 2021 was a year for a lot of people. 2020 was a year for a lot of people that was challenging. Tonight, I'm joined with my co-host, Billy K. Johnson. What's up, Billy?
Hello, good evening. Happy Monday.
Hey, listen, Billy, we're about to dive into this talk, and
Let's go.
I'm excited about it. Now, a lot of people don't know we made some adjustments and decided to go with the conversation on Monday nights. We've done radio for a long time, but we're doing these Monday night conversations. What's your view on these conversations?
I think this is great. I think this is a much more intimate setting. We were on radio for 7, 8 years, somewhere around in there. And it was an amazing time. But now with these conversations, as we talk about what the blog topic of the week is, and there's a little bit more one-on-one, we have the opportunity to engage with our audience, like Miss Irene, who I see is online. Hey, Miss Irene, I think this is great. I like it.
Yes. Well, tonight I want us to dive into, like you mentioned, our blog. Every Monday, a lot of people don't know, Billy, that we drop a blog. It's free. It's almost like a free chapter of a book. All right.
Yes.
Now, there are some people who haven't gone to our blog. What's your view on the blog? We're going to get to our talk in a minute, but now we're connecting for those readers. There are some people who say, well, I don't have time to listen to you all talk, but I may want to read through the point. Share on that.
Well, if you're missing out on the blog, if you're not catching the blog that drops every Monday at 10 a.m., you are missing out. The blog, it's a very quick, easy read. It's going to drop little bitty nuggets. You talk to us all the time about chipping away at all of these things in our mindset. So when you catch the blog on Mondays, that drops at 10 a.m. At www.ricardomiller.com. even /blog, you can catch what the topic of the week that you, as a life management coach, has selected, that this is the focus of the week. This is the area that we need to chip away at. And if you're not reading the blog, you are missing out. And you can always go back and read previous weeks as well.
Well, if you are watching us tonight, and you got a chance to read our blog, if you did not leave a comment, go back to the blog and leave a comment. We want to know. It's an encouragement. Billy, how blessed that, or encouraged, to know that after we have done the work to set these blogs up, for someone to have read it and then leave a comment.
Yes. Well, when I see the comments, it's a reminder that we are all part of a community. This is the Effective Living tribe. We are a group, a community, and each of us are working, putting in the work to get better, to create this life that we don't need to take a vacation from, to create this life that there's a harmonious balance between doing what we need to do coupled with what we want to do. And all of us, everybody's at a different place, right? So even though we're all at a different place, we're all headed to our own individual destinations. So when we see the comments, when I see the comments, it's a reminder there's other people on this journey with me, and the journey is better with friends. Yes. So please leave a comment, and we can start seeing each other. And if I can, we've already seen 2 comments this week.
Yeah,
we saw Miss Sonia and Miss Miss Sonia and Miss Linda Mack and Sonia Joseph. So I think that's really cool that people take the time to leave a comment and let us know their thoughts. And not only when they leave their comments publicly, is it an encouragement to us, it's probably an encouragement to somebody else to see where other people are at and what they're thinking about as well.
Well, Billy, without further ado, let's dive into tonight's talk. I know, guys, whenever you show up on our YouTube channel, every Monday night, we have this conversation. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. Now, here's the deal, Billy, we're talking failure. Don't feel, bad about the fact that certain things haven't gone right in your life up to this point. There are some people who have this belief that once a failure, always a failure. They were raised that way.
Mm-hmm.
They were raised that way. And one of the things that I teach is that you sometimes just got to unlearn what you should have never learned in the beginning. I wish I had my cup of tea. Man, listen, we're going to go to a commercial break. I can find my tea. But once a failure, always a failure. You know, there's some people who believe that. Billy, what's your view on it?
Well, first of all, you yourself are not a failure. You are an individual, and something may have failed, but that is not your identity as a failure. We are all created in the image of God, and God doesn't make any junk. So you yourself are not a failure. So this once a failure, always a failure, that cannot be. It just cannot be. Yeah. Everybody is going to take an L at some point. We all have some area where we will take an L, but that's not the end all be all. It just isn't. I'm reminded when you are in school and you have to take a test. Yeah. And sometimes you can properly prepare and sometimes you don't.
Hey, look at
Nevertheless,
this. Look at this. Look.
That's an amazing service over there.
Come on, man. That's what's up, Millie. Go ahead.
Yes. So either way, you can take a test and you may fail the test, meaning that there was a certain mark, there was a standard that was set, and that you needed to achieve that particular mark to say that you have mastered that material. Right. And so just because you fail the test doesn't mean that you are a failure. Hopefully your teacher gives you an opportunity to take the test again. And there becomes an advantage. Yeah. The advantage now is, the question is on the test. And it's possible that now that you know the questions on the test, that you can, they might even be the same questions in the same order. And now you know what to expect, you know what to do, and you have hopefully learned. And now you can pass and do what you need to do to go to the next level.
I have a struggle, though. I have not even a struggle, but a problem, Billy, with people who just beat themselves up when something doesn't go the way. They've experienced an L, okay? And they start, you get to the point where you start calling yourself, I'm such a failure, I'm such a loser. And you start playing that in your head. And before you know it, everything in your life starts to fall apart because the words that you're speaking has power in it. Right?
They do. They really, really do. What you say to yourself matters so much. It matters. I actually think the words you say to yourself are more important than the words that other people say to you, because what you say to yourself, you're going to believe that first before other people's words, you believe them. So missing the mark is just that. You missed the mark. Failure. I've had so many failures in my own personal life. I've had failures in business. I've had failures in my careers. And sometimes you say, oopsie, and hopefully it's nothing that's detrimental. One of the things I like to share with people is everything is figure outable. You can figure it out. Everything is figure outable. So when failure happens, take a breath. Take a breath Go through the emotions. Sometimes when you fail, you want to cry and you want to kick and scream. It's disappointing. It's heartbreaking. When you have relationships that fail, that's very, very heartbreaking. But again, you don't want to stay there. You can get up and figure out what differences need to be made and then go forward. And this time you're in a better position to win.
I like what you said. Now, knowing that you'll be in a better position to win, Miss Irene, like that word, figure outable. I like.
It's a Billyism.
That's a Billyism. I like that. But here's the deal. Guys, you're watching us tonight. We want you to know it's the beginning of the year. As a matter of fact, it's day 10 of 2022. As you're planning life, one of the things we have to understand is that everything won't work out the way we want it to work out all the time. Okay? We're not in charge of how it all plays out. And boy, wouldn't it be a joy, Billy, for it to work out exactly like how you wanted it to work out in every... Now, here's the deal. For it to work out exactly how you want it to work out, do you know one of the things why I actually have a tendency of being easy on myself when things don't work out? Because I realize it's working out for someone else.
Yes.
Literally. The day when you don't want it to rain and it rains, Billy, it's working favorably for the car wash guys whose cars are going to double the next day when the sun comes out. It's working favorably for the gardeners and the landscaping people and the farmers. The rain is necessary for someone. The sun is necessary for someone. Somebody said, well, I don't want, you know what? This is how I want it to be. Well, if it's strictly the way you want it to be, it will go completely opposite for someone else.
Right.
So I found this to be true, Billy. Everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets a chance.
Yes. We all take turns. That we are in a global community. There's 8 billion people on the planet. We are in a global community, and everybody's going to get a chance to have their ups and have their downs as well. And when it's your turn, celebrate the win. When it's not your turn, that's okay.
Yep.
It's gonna come. And again, that's a turn. A turn is usually in a circle, right? So just wait your turn. And your turn is coming around to you.
That's why the statement that's so strongly stated in a lot of churches, and that is, if you're going through, keep going.
Keep going. Right. Keep going.
Right.
Don't stay there.
Don't stay there. So I was looking at our blog, Billy. And I said, we're at day 10 into the new year, and I began it to ponder and look into this particular subject matter when it comes to failure. And I said, at some point in life, we all will encounter setback. It's inevitable, but how you handle the setback is what matters.
Yes.
You know, how you handle the setback. Now, you've mentioned you've had your share of failures. I've had my share of failures. How you handle the setback. How have you been able to look at that as a statement and say, boy, true, okay.
For me personally, what I'm thinking about the failures that I've had in business. And even though I've had failures, that didn't work out so well. And I have that opportunity to do it again. The difference for me personally, where I don't get hung up is the fact that even though everybody might be looking at me and laughing at me, they're on the sidelines. They didn't do it. I did. I had the guts to jump out there and try. They didn't. They're sitting over there, whatever.
Let me ask you this. I have to interrupt you there with this because you said they're on the sideline laughing at us. Do you believe people are laughing? Do you believe, or is it that there aren't that many people laughing and we sort of make it up to believe? Because we feed these dynamics. I met people, Billy, who they say, well, I got these haters. And I'm like, who's your haters? Well, I don't really quite know them, but everybody has them. And so as a society, we almost, I do believe too that, you know, someone's not going to feel you for your progress. But even like, as you mentioned just now, do you think some of the stuff that we go through in relations to us not having done well goes into us overthinking it? Because I went through a divorce, okay? I went through a horrible experience with my divorce. But you know what I found? A lot of the things that I was feeding myself as to how I thought things would play out and what I thought people thought, maybe they were, but I really didn't get to meet those people. And I didn't get to deal with some of the things I was overplaying, per se.
I think they are laughing now. And here's why I say that. The negative voices have a tendency to be louder than the positive, encouraging voices. So even if it's just one person laughing, it sounds like it's the whole world.
Isn't that the truth?
It's the whole world. Now that's where we can become dramatic. Right, in that area. But there are people who are literally waiting and looking for your downfall. They are looking for it, they are expecting it, and they're just waiting. When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? And so a lot of times the title of the blog is specifically "Don't Be Threatened by Failure." And sometimes I think that a piece of that is, what will other people say if I do fail?
What would other people say if I don't fail? What I found myself doing, Billy, I said, if you're holding, watch this, you're like trying to wait. I'm like, don't hold your breath, because when you hold your breath, you're going to die. Right? Let me tell you why you're going to die. Because my Bible teaches all things work together for my good. I believe that with my whole heart. So watch this. Going back to Joseph, having lost his coat, he could have felt, oh, I'm such a failure. You know, I couldn't keep the one thing my dad gave me, right? And then having been thrown down in a hole, he could have said, you know what? I'm such a failure. My brothers don't even like me. They like me to the point they put me in a hole. But watch this. I'm such a failure. My goodness, I'm look at me in slavery when I should have been so much more. I had a dream. And you know, and the truth be told, it's all working together.
Everything.
All working together for, according to those who are in that perfect will of God, that plan of God, he brings it back. You know, he brings it back. What would you say in regards to that position of, it didn't work out for you, or it didn't work out for me, but it didn't work out for someone that's watching us, but it comes back favorably for you if you're connected to the Creator?
Oh man, when it doesn't work out, because again, we are all going to go through failure. You're going to take an L. It's going to happen. Take the L and just, you know, it is what it is. But keep holding God's hand. Don't let go of the hand of God. Just don't let it go. I don't care how bad it is. You could have lost 6 figures, and that's a lot of money to lose. You could have lost a very precious relationship, or you could have lost whatever it is. But if you keep on keeping on, it's going to work out, and you will see things turn around. This going back to the things that you say to yourself, this is why it's so important, the things that you say to yourself. If you consider your head as a bucket, okay? Consider your head as a bucket.
I have a pretty big bucket.
Me too. If you consider your head as a bucket, you have to think about, what are you putting in through your ears? What's going in through your ear gates? What is going in through your eye gates? And then also you think about your diet as well. What are you feeding? Literally, what are you eating that you're consuming? And when you put all of these things in, what goes in is what's going to come out. If you are not listening to uplifting and positive messages, if you are not reading things that are positive and uplifting, and if you are eating a bunch of garbage, a bunch of junk food, you're going to have a problem when it's time to get back up. When you fall down and you're trying to get back up, you're going to have a problem. That's going to be a problem. But and when I talk about reading, I'm not talking about just reading books. I'm talking about what it is that you're watching on TV. What is it you're reading on social media? What stuff are you reading and looking at on social media? What is going into your bucket that eventually is going to come back out? When you fall down, do you have enough oomph on the inside of you to get back up?
And that's why I think it's important that, one, we have persons who subscribe to our channel and they go back and watch these videos, because the goal is, man, listen, here on Effective Living, we're constantly talking about getting better. Somebody, I heard one guy told me, he said, man, I think you're a little much when it comes to this whole better message. It's like, come on, man, can you back up off of the message? I'm gonna back up off of what message? Man, I ain't backing up off of no message. I ain't never going nowhere off of this message. This message is here to stay. This is not a feeling as a style or something that I want to play with as it's a fad, But the reality of it is that one, there is good content and there's bad content, and whatever you let in that bucket, as you mentioned, if you put more garbage in, you're going to get more garbage out. So,
that's right.
So I'm of the belief that you got to do the work on a continual basis, especially for those of us who were raised in toxic environment. I'm talking about your neighborhood was toxic, your classroom was toxic, your best friend was toxic. You know what I'm saying? Some people grew up in toxic homes. They just outright just abusive, terrible environments that just is not supportive. And so now you're on this run to acquire something more. So you say you want to be progressive, you want to be productive, and then you have some bumps in the road. You have some, I call it bumps in the road, Billy. You live long enough, you're gonna get some bumps in the road, right? So you get these bumps in the road, only to find yourself overplaying the bumps, when the truth is everybody gets a little bump in the road.
Everybody. It happens to everybody. Just keep living.
Everybody gets a little bump in the road. Now, let's watch this, Billy. I wrote this down. I said, study your failure, evaluate your setback to ensure that you continue to get better with age. Let me say it again. Study your failure. Okay? If you're watching us today, I want to encourage you, study your failure and evaluate your setbacks to ensure that you're getting better with age. So I noticed that we got our coach Della Major joining us, Miss Irene Case and Justin Childs. You got anything that didn't work out, you got to study it. Don't run from it. Don't ignore it. Don't put your head in the sand. You know what I'm saying? I am prepared to address anything that did not work out in my life. And Billy, here's the deal. Not for the people that's outside first, but for me.
Yes. This is my life.
Yes.
It's mine.
Yeah.
This platform is about us, me, developing the life that we want.
Yes.
And so, yes, when you have that L, study it.
Yes.
Study that. Figure it out. What happened and what do I need to do differently? Yes. It could be just a minor tweak or it could be a major adjustment. Yes. I know when I first started working when I first started selling my baked goods at the farmer's market, which I no longer sell baked goods, but when I used to sell my baked items at the farmer's market, I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting customers at my booth. And I took pictures, and I was in a Facebook group of other people that sold at markets. And I said, hey, can somebody help me figure this out? Because I should be doing much better than what I'm doing. and they seemingly attacked me.
Wow.
I was looking for help and they were like, this is wrong. This is wrong. You need to do this, 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 and this. And it kind of hurt my feelings because not one person said one positive thing.
Wow.
So not only was I losing the market with my sales, but now everybody like, however, I said, okay. I took down the notes, made the adjustments, and my sales increased. And so sometimes, again, you have to study and you may not know the answers. I did not know the answer. I did what I thought what was good to do. And it was wrong. Wow. What I knew was wrong because I had limited information.
Wow. Yeah.
But then I took experience of other people who were being successful, who were winning in the areas where I was failing, even though it was hard. It was so hard to hear their criticism.
Yep.
But it helped me to do what I needed to do in the end.
Billy, so what you're saying here was you're failing. It wasn't working. I'm failing is simply it wasn't working out. Okay.
Yes.
Let's just get over how we define failure. Failure is simply it wasn't working out, right?
Yes.
You were in a group. Listen to what Billy mentioned, guys. She was in a group where it was working out for some people. Okay. She highlighted the fact that she needed some information on how to make it work out. Their response was not the way she was raised or accustomed to being instructed. Okay. Now here's the deal. She could have gotten angry and left the group. Okay. She could have, as a matter of fact, she could have gone on their page and given them bad reviews in anonymous names. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what she did. What she did was she decided that I'm going to extract the gold, the gem, the preciousness out of their suggestions that has been cruelly presented and roughly presented. But I'm going to extract it. Billy, I was reading a book a couple of months ago, and this guy, he says he's treating some of the best, and he says he teaches clients. People say, I want constructive criticism. If you're going to criticize me, at least make it constructive. He said, when you really want to be a champion, all you want is what's right.
That's right.
That's
right. That's right. When you want to win, you will do what is necessary. you will do whatever is necessary. Even when you fail, you still need to be desperate. You have got to be desperate because desperate people do desperate things.
Come on.
And you will get to have a mindset, no matter what it takes, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to learn. I'm going to get up. I'm going to brush myself off. If you scraped your knee, get you some ointment and a Band-Aid. You'll be okay. And then let's go. Let's go.
Hey, listen, guys, tonight we're talking about failure. And we want to remind you, listen, you're not alone. Billy said she got help. You got to remind yourself, someone is assigned to help me. Check this out, and we'll be right back.
Effective Living offers life management group coaching. This is a great introductory option for those who are ready for guidance to structure your life in such a way where there is a harmonious balance between having enthusiasm for what you need to do, coupled with fulfillment of doing what you want to do. Join our group coaching program today to start creating a life you don't need to take a vacation from. More information about our group coaching program can be found at www.ricardomiller.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Effective Living Monday Night Conversations. I'm joined with my co-host, Billy K. Johnson. Now, Billy, I want to talk about this whole concept of taking responsibility. Okay?
Ooh.
Taking responsibility. What's your view there? Because obviously things doesn't always work out the way we want it to work out, but it's not always someone else's fault. What's your view there?
It is not always someone else's fault. And even though it may be someone else's fault, you still played a role. I don't care if it's 2%. You take responsibility for that 2%.
Wow.
You have to take responsibility. if you don't take responsibility, you will never be in a place to progress and go forward, because everything is on somebody else.
Wow.
What's going to be on you?
Yeah.
What will be on you? What will you do? You have to take ownership of the decisions that you make. I used to tell my son, when you make a decision, there will be consequences. And so you can either have good consequences, it could be a good outcome, or it could be a bad one. Whatever it is, you made the decision, you own it. Good, bad, or ugly, it's yours.
Wow. You made the decision, you own it. Now, you said good, bad, or indifferent. At the end of the day, you want to grow up and you want to be a success. Learn how to identify what was my responsibility in this. Maybe they were at fault, but had I assessed who I was dealing with, I may have not chosen to deal with them had I taken the time.
Right. And even in that, you have to take responsibility.
And you have to take responsibility. Now, here's the deal. There are some people, listen, Billy, they've lived all their life. It's been the teacher's fault in elementary school. It was their first boss's fault. You know what I'm saying? It was my girlfriend's fault. It was my parents' fault. It's the government's fault. It's the police fault. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's the neighbor's fault. It's always someone else's fault when things don't work out. And when the truth is things won't work out. Oh, watch this. Watch this, Billy. I was driving my car some time back and I was distracted. Okay. I was distracted, Billy, but I had the low profile rims. Okay. I had the low profile rims and my car dropped in a hole, Billy.
Uh-oh.
And the hole was on the side and it mashed the rim and flapped the tire. And man, let me tell you something. I was mad with the city of Dallas. I'm like, these holes. Now here's the deal. Where that hole was far enough on the side. Had I not been on my phone, trying to text and drive. Come on, I just revealed it. Okay, it's not a good thing. See, there was still a part for me to play in paying attention.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Another part was I wanted the custom rims when at the time I was suggested they weren't the best rims for where I was driving. You know what I'm saying? So I chose to go ahead now. I had an off-road drive experience that I needed to do. And I'm doing low profile. See, so yes, the road is not the best maintained, but if I were to take into consideration what I should be doing to make sure this experience was good. Yes.
You have to take responsibility. I'm thinking about the people who say, you know, this is my neighborhood and it's my community and it's that fault. It's the environment that I'm in and it's that's the reason why I can't do this or why I'm not getting ahead. But in the day and age that we're in, with so much free content on various platforms, if you choose to stay where you are, that is your fault.
Wow.
All on you.
Billy, that's a strong statement you just said. You just sounded like a principal who was about to whip a student.
But there is so much out there. If you want to make a change, you can make a change.
Ooh.
It is all on you. YouTube is free. Instagram is free. They got stuff on TikTok. I mean, people want to work out, right? And they say, I can't afford to go to the gym. It costs too much to go to the gym. They got videos on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok where you can work out. Just repeat the stuff. Those people even have videos where you don't have to have any dumbbells or anything, right? And people say, I can't eat healthy. There is a girl on TikTok who is on WIC, and she prepares recipes with all of her food that she gets from WIC. 100% of her stuff is from WIC. Wow. If you are where you are and you don't like it, and you decide to sit there in it, that's your fault.
Wow. I'm going to stay stuck right there. Wow. Billy, you just, listen, man, where's the offering bucket? Let's go to Cash App Billy right now. Hey, listen, failure is your greatest teacher. Years ago, I was told that. I didn't agree with it. I now have come to accept it as true. Failure is your greatest teacher. Let's talk about that for a minute. When did you accept that as a truth, Billy?
it, recently or initially?
Initially.
Yeah. Again, going back to the test into schools, I remember choosing schools and classwork and coursework. That wasn't it. That was not it. It sounded good and it looked good, but that wasn't it. Need to do something different. And in that, in all of the failures that I've learned, again, I'm the person that says, well, at least I tried. I did it. I experienced it. Because sometimes you don't know things because you don't have any experience. You don't have a point of reference, right? So at least I tried. At least I experienced it. And now I take that experience and I grow up. I mature. And now I apply everything that I've learned and I take it here and this is it. I have learned about myself through my failures. Again, something that sounded good and it looked good. That wasn't it. Tried something else. And had I not experienced things not working out, then I would have never known that piece of who I am.
I like the fact that you said along the way, you were able to learn more about yourself. There's just so many people, this is what I want. It's not working out the way I want it, but you're not taking the time to learn the lesson. The reason why failure is such a great teacher is because it's refining you. It's helping you to become. Somebody said, well, I want $1 million. But if you're not learning you in managing $1,000, if you're not learning you in managing $10,000, then when the $1 million come, you wonder why in 2 and 3 and 4 years, people who end up winning money in those numbers have a tendency of losing it because they've never figured out themselves in the managing of small money. So let's talk about this acronym failure, Billy. Let's talk about this acronym failure. And I know we both share notes with this, and I look at that F as face your challenges. Face your challenges. And truly, we all have them, but failure comes from facing challenges, right?
Yes, it does. So I have to tell a story.
Go ahead.
I have to tell a story. So I did not used to run, and I don't run now, but at one point in my life I was running, right? And I decided I was going to take up running because I saw like a turkey trot or some kind of race on TV. I saw it on TV and I said, that looks fun. I think I want to do that.
Yeah. And
so I had never run at all before. And I found a training program. It was 8 weeks long. And so I was out there, huffing and puffing, doing my little training. I signed up for the turkey trot. I forgot what year it was, but I signed up for the turkey trot. I was going to do the 5K, the 3.1 miles. It was going to be my first ever. I got 6 weeks into that 8-week training, finished the 6th week. And I said, I'm not going to do it. I quit because I was afraid that I was going to be the last person to cross the finish line. Because I was so slow.
See, you need to take something from me, Billy, because when I did the marathon, I did one. And I asked them, what's the qualifying time to finish for a medal? Okay. Yeah. And I think it was, you had to do it like in 3 hours. Or something like that, right? You had to do this in 3 hours. Billy, I got in. I just want you to know. I got in at 2:55, okay?
You finished. Where's my medal?
Hey, listen, Billy, they were moving cones when I was running too, okay? Hey, I started off my run, and it had to be 10,000 people out there, right?
Yeah.
Doing the different runs and so forth. There had to be 10,000 people out there. Listen, man, I couldn't count 100 people in sight of me. But listen, I finished before they turned the clock off. I finished before they stopped giving out the medals. And I got across that line and got my medal. And it was a challenge.
Yes. Yes, and that's what this is. It's about facing your challenges. And so I missed that turkey trot, but then I went ahead and did the Cowtown 5K. That was the first real running event I did, and it was so cool. And what I learned was you're not going to be the last person to finish. I mean, I'm sure even when you finished, you were not the last person.
No, I wasn't the last person.
You were never going to be the last person.
And there were hundreds of people who got towed off in golf carts and couldn't even finish, right?
Right.
But here's the deal. You know, I got some friends, some good people. These are my beloved friends, but I'm going to call somebody out because, Billy, I got across the line, got my medal, right? And I posted it on Facebook, got my medal, finished my first marathon, 26 plus miles. I completed. And watch this. One of my friends, I can call the name, you'll know them. And she put the comment, congratulations. And then she says, where's your minutes? How many minutes did you do it? Right? And so I'm like, listen, I completed, okay?
That's right.
I completed. You know that joker went to research and contact the website company for running and found out how many. She was like, Lord Jesus, were you the last person across the line? That's my point. I still finished.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And it's so important to face your challenges, even though you may be afraid. Fear of failure is real. It is so real.
It is.
But just go. And if you're going to do a running event, you will not be the last person to finish. I assure you.
Now let's talk about accepting responsibility. That's what A for. F is for facing your challenges. A is for accepting responsibility. Let's talk about accepting responsibility, and I for invest in yourself. Those two, invest in yourself and accepting responsibility. And unique couples, Vito and Linda, they're laughing at me in the Bahamas. I just want you all to know I finished. Okay.
Yes. So part of accepting responsibility could involve investing in yourself. Yeah. If there are places and things and information that you are not aware of, you need to go figure it out. Yeah. And the investment may not be money. A lot of times when you hear invest in yourself, the first thing people think about is money. How much money is it going to cost me? Sometimes that investment is going to be time. Well, let's say it's going to involve time, because even if you do put the money in, you're still going to need to use some time. Yeah. So it is what it is. How bad do you want it? Yeah. And if you have failed, or if you're getting ready to do something and you don't want to fail, how bad do you want the success? Yeah. If you want to just then all right, just, and maybe you're going to fail more than one time. Yep. Or you can get some help from somebody or something. Google is free. Yep. Google is free. Yeah.
Billy,
and do that. Mm-hmm.
Google is free, and a lot of people miss it. When I first came in this country, Billy, when I took the driver's test, I was driving for a long time already. Okay. Mm-hmm. I did had to jump in the car and did the drive part, and I passed that. 3 times I failed that computer test. Jesus, God, right? I listened the first time I failed, and then the second time I failed, and the third time I failed. And it just didn't work out. I've had to come to the point where, listen, I'm going to take responsibility. I didn't study the thing. I thought all of the signs would be the same signs that we had in the Bahamas. And I didn't do my due diligence. And I thought I would wing it the first 2 times and so forth. But here's the deal. When you talk about invest in yourself, I had to go ahead and watch this. As you mentioned, I went and got a VHS at the time, Billy, and I watched the driving VHS document that how to drive in Texas. And I read the little book, and then I did the test the fourth time. The fourth time was when I got my pass. I didn't buy my driver's license. I completed it and got it, but I did the work. A lot of people don't want to do the work for investment.
No, people don't want to do the work. And another resource that is often overlooked is your local library. They're still open. The local library is still open, and there are wonderful people who work at the library. You ask them a question and they love to help you out to figure out whatever it is that you're trying to do. And if you don't have money to buy books, go check the book out for free at the library. My local library also has magazines. They have DVDs, not only just movie DVDs, but DVDs that are informational. They might have a driving DVD over there too.
Right. So, actually, interesting you said that, but that was a library that I went and got the VHS from at the time. Let's talk about this. So we said F is face your challenge. A is to accept responsibility. I is invest in yourself. And L is learn to grow. Learn to grow. You're going through some stuff. They're not all working the way you want them to work out. But if you're learning to grow through it, oh goodness.
Growing is a choice. You can stay where you are, or you can choose to grow up. I like that term, grow up. Grow up. There's so much opportunity in facing a fear of failure, or learning from failure, coming back from a setback, coming back from disappointment. There's so much opportunity because, again, you've had this moment where you have some information now. You now have more information than you did when you began.
More information. So now that means you can grab a hold of that information, allow it to help you to go to the next level. You got to do what you got to do. Billy, a lot of people don't know that they can still get my book, Effective Living. It's an incredible book. I want you guys to check this out. We'll come back, talk about it along with our few remaining points before our conversation end tonight. Check this out. Go ahead and get your copy. Go to ricardomiller.com. If you haven't ordered your copy yet, get your copy. Now, Billy, those acronyms, let's talk about the remaining ones. You want to take the lead on those?
Sure. So the next one, so we talked about F, facing your challenges. A, accepting responsibility. I, invest in yourself. L, learn to grow. And we're still spelling out failure. And so the U is for understand the roles. Understand the roles. For me, again, as we talked about in the beginning of tonight's conversation, you are not a failure. Something has happened that has failed. That is not you or your identity. And you need to understand your role. Understand the role of the failure that has transpired, and also understand your role in what it is that you're going to do now that you've had this setback. What are you going to do to go forward, to move forward?
That's why I think the next one after that is relentlessly fight for your why. Right? You got to capture the why. And the why is not deep, the why is simply purpose. Right. Purpose is the why. Okay? You got to fight. You got to relentlessly fight for it. It doesn't just happen. There are moments where you start to realize, I want something that no one in my family has ever gotten. Maybe it's a college degree. Okay.
Mhm.
Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. No one in your family has ever gone the route of becoming an entrepreneur. Maybe you want to learn another language. Okay.
Yep.
Now you got to decide, listen, man, I'm going to go in. Some people have gone so far, Billy, as to actually move into another country to absorb the language at a
Mhm.
higher level. That's talking about fighting for that which you want.
Yes. Being relentless. You have got to be relentless in order to get there. Again, desperate people do desperate things. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? I don't watch boxing so much, but I've seen a couple of them,
Yeah.
and they hit the person and the person falls down and they kind of, but they get up.
Yep.
They get up because it's not over.
Yep.
And I think that's what's important to capture when we talk about failure in the pursuit to be relentless and going after whatever it is that you're going after. You cannot give up because it's not over.
Yeah.
This is not over.
Wow.
That was a round whatever.
Whatever.
But it's not over.
Yeah. It's
They'll
not,
get it wrong.
See, and somebody needs to declare that, in 2021, someone experienced something that didn't work out. Some people would have called it a failure. Okay. It didn't work out. That's all it is. Now you have to just say that was round one.
Mhm.
And round one won't take me out. Round two, 2020 was a round for some people. 2019 was somebody said to me earlier today, a good friend of mine, she said, listen, the last 3 years has been rough. In other words, that was 3 rough rounds.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to relentlessly fight for your why, because you understand that you always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And see, a lot of people see the multiple locations, Billy. They see the eventually 6 figures. They see the published book. They see, you know what I'm saying? They see the website. They see the business card. They see someone paying you out some cash. They see an upgrade in a car. What they don't see is the relentless fight.
The pursuit got knocked down 99 times, 100 getting up.
Oh man, I've been knocked down so much. Listen, let's talk about this one, right? Empower others as you go.
Wow.
Empower others as you go. Now, I've been teaching this, that watch it. It's only lonely at the top when you go by yourself.
Right.
And you've coined the statement, the journey is better with friends. Talk to us.
Yes. It's so important to empower others. We talked about the bucket earlier, right? And you've now gathered this information within yourself. You now know things, and don't be selfish and not share what you have learned with somebody else. If you see somebody making the same mistakes that you made, why would you not help them? When I going back to my business in the farmers market, man, oh man. And so now when I see other people with their booths at the market, I'll be like, you might want to do this, you might want to do that. This is what happened to me.
Yes.
And now I'm helping them leaps and bounds to get to where they need to be. You reap what you sow.
Yeah. You reap what you sow.
So you may want to do the right thing.
Yeah. And there are some people, Billy, they've learned it. They learned the hard way, and they say, well, I'm not going to make it easy for anybody.
Yes, there are those people.
I'm not going to make it easy. I had to, watch this, Billy. I had to fight my way to the top. And I'm not giving nothing for free.
Yeah.
I'm not giving no advice. Ain't nobody help me, which is a lie.
Right.
You ever met those people? Ain't nobody help me.
Yes.
That is a lie from the pit of hell.
Absolutely.
Because none of us have ever arrived to any place of significance without the help of somebody.
That's right. So it's so important for you to share. And one of the ways that you know that you have mastered the material is if you're able to teach somebody else.
That's so good. Yeah, that is so good. One of the things I learned a few years ago as well, which has been really an accelerator for me, and it's a difference maker, and that is you learn best also when you teach, when you give away what you have acquired. And I saw this to be true, Billy. Every progressive church that I've ever admired, the pastor oftentimes would have training for other pastors to come and learn. Or that church will open their doors up for others to become exposed to what they have acquired in that of skill to bring about a richness to the community and advancing the gospel. And so a lot of people miss it when they think we just want to get what's for us and we don't want to help no one else. Bad model. Bad.
Yes. There's some people, I think I might mess this up, but there's some people that have the me and mines and no more.
When the truth is, let's close this out, Billy. We're talking about failure, and we're talking about the fact that on your way to having success, you're going to have some bumps in the road. You're going to have this, my closing remarks. Get ready for yours, Billy.
Okay.
You're going to have some bumps in the road. You're going to have some things that's just not going to work out the way you want them to work out. However, if you're continuing to improve yourself and starting to learn what you need to learn from the things that didn't work itself out, you can find yourself eventually winning. Now, one of the things we just mentioned just now, you got to become generous with what you discover.
Yes.
And being generous is a part of the journey to acquiring great success. Don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to accept the fact that something didn't work out, and that's okay. Boy, when I capture the understanding that not because something didn't work out means I need to hold, I'm not going to hold myself to that because it was just something. Last point, I'm not going to allow a moment or an experience to define my life forever.
No. And what I would like to close with is, again, and I've said it many times through this hour, you are not a failure. Something has happened. There is a setback. There is a disappointment, but that's not who you are. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to, take a seat on the bench, go sit down. Just don't stay there because it's not over. Take your L. What do you learn? How can you do this differently? What can be better the next time? Don't give up. Keep it moving. Keep it pushing. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this.
Sure.
Let's do this. Know your why. That, that's one of my favorite questions is why? Why? And remember that why and keep going. Be relentless and let's go. Let's go.
Rest if you must, but don't quit.
Don't quit.
Billy, thank you so much. This has been
a
great conversation.
This was fun.
Yeah, we're going to do this again. And if you are watching us for the very first time, please know every Monday for an hour, we're here on YouTube. It's Effective Living Monday Night Conversations. Don't miss next week. It's going to be good. Put on that notification bell. Okay? Subscribe to the channel. Let somebody know. Ricardo Miller on the Effective Living Group. We got Billy K. Johnson. Okay? We got Deborah D. Smith. Come on. We got Coach Della Major. Come on. We got Miss Carol Crockett. And we got Anastasia Smith. Hey, we got a crew, man. We're doing
all the ladies.
All the ladies.
The ladies.
Don't miss next week. We're going to have a great talk. Billy, thank you again for a great talk, great conversation.
Thank you.
God bless you all, everyone.
Good night.
Through the Effective Living one-on-one coaching program, you receive customized strategies and techniques to help you move from where you currently are to where you see yourself. You will work with world-renowned life coach, Ricardo Miller, who has more than 2 decades helping people maximize their purpose. Show us your target and we'll help you hit it. Visit www.ricardomiller.com to enroll.